to Monster Trucks Overdriven. Today is a different kind of episode. Today is the announcement of Season 2 of the BKT Super Truck Tour. And of course, I got one of my good buddies with me, Hunter. And he will give us the full roster and announcement changes regarding the whole season. So, Hunter, the floor is yours.
Basically I will announce the changes first, which this season, I know the drivers have definitely been asking for it. We will now have two-wheel skills every single event, where the top 8 in racing, so basically the people who make it past round 1, will be in the two-wheel skills that week, and yeah. We will now also have 2 events per week, 2 for each series, one on Friday night, one on Saturday night, with 10 weeks of action lined up between 3 series, and then on week 11, of course we all know, the World Finals coming back, and if you missed the announcement, at the end of our World Finals, it will be at Bristol this season. That's it. I'm not going to say anything about the schedules yet. Has it. Is he okay? Well, we're gonna take an intermission. Kidding. I guess another change that I should announce. We will, this season, I have not said anything about this to anyone yet. This season, we will be incorporating the 1-minute rule for freestyle and getting rid of the 30-second rule. So, if you wreck your truck and your freestyle will be over at all, within the first minute of the run, you will get a 1-point deduction from your run. Or, well, they scored out of 10 in real life. I probably should make it a little bit more, but that's okay. And as well, two-wheel skills will be judged out of 20 points instead of 40. Which I feel like that, to me, is just going to make it a little bit more interesting in terms of picking a winner and racing. Instead of using body only damage like we did all of season 1, we will now be doing full damage. And what that will affect is if a truck was to wreck during racing and if it's bad enough to where they cannot return for the rest of the week, for the rest of that event, then yeah, I mean, they won't be able to return. But on to the interesting stuff. I hear Hazard got back. On to the interesting stuff.
Yep, let's do this.
For the International Tour,
That's right.
Of course, the debut of this series, and we're going to go ahead and announce the schedule for that first, followed by the roster. So for week 1, which will be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
For me, 6 p.m.
We have St. Martin. Well, yeah, 6 p.m. for those of you on the coast. We will have St. Martin, which will be held at the Virginia Beach Track and Game, obviously. Then next week, the International Tour takes its bye week, and that is something else. Every single series has 3 bye weeks. As I said, we are running 3 series, but only 2 will run per week. You will learn more about that later. So week 2 is a bye, but week 3 we head down under to Sydney, Australia, which we will use in game San Antonio. Week 4, we're going to head back up and go to Cardiff, Wales, which will be used as Foxborough. And then week 5 is going to be an interesting week. We have a bye week for every single series, because that week we have the Superstar Challenge, which will be returning to Anaheim, California.
For the 2nd year in a row.
Week 6, we had the Arnhem Holland, which we will be using the Modern Houston, which was just added to the game. Week 7, the International Tour faces its 3rd bye week. We head to Asia for the first time, I believe, where we go to Tokyo, Japan, and capping off the season for the international tour, we have.
What's the venue for Tokyo?
Oh, sorry. Just basic Anaheim. So Angel Stadium, not the Aces Challenge, just standard Anaheim. And then for week 9, which will be the final event for the international tour before it's week 10 bye, we have Venice, Italy, which will be held at the Glendale Circuit in-game.
The Glendale track, guys.
Yes.
Which will have a brand new layout.
Yes, it will. I've already worked that out. Which I believe is the only time we use Glendale in-game all season. No, we use it in West as well.
Which we will get
But
to
we don't see it
after
at all
we
in
deal with the
East.
roster.
No, we go to East and West. Alright, so for your roster, we're going to start off with some of your more notable guys. So, for your grave diggers in this league, we have, of course, the main man, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, 4-time World Finals champion. And then Tyler Menninga in grave digger. With something interesting that I forgot to mention with the rules changes earlier. We have a reserve driver for every single team. So that means there are 24, if I did that right, 22, sorry. There are 22 drivers per series. So I'm going to go ahead and list off the teams. I won't necessarily. So for Team 1, which, alright, I might as well just say who's driving what team. So for Team 1, which will be piloted by me, Hunter, we have Nitro Circus, piloted by Travis Pastrana, and Cody Saucier in the modern Monster Energy pickup truck. And then the reserve driver for this team, in the case that a driver were to get injured, is Mike Christensen. Hazard's team. Driver. Yes. Hazard's team for the international tour consists of Axe, driven by Joe Foley, War Wizard, driven by RJ Turner, and Bad Habit, driven by Carl Van Horn. And then the reserve driver for his team is Barry Musauer.
Alright. I get a good driver. And also,
hey, what's wrong with Mike Christensen?
He's inconsistent, no offense.
He drives front end though.
Anyway,
right. What were you gonna
before
say?
we go any further, I was reading the comments and somebody actually asked how to join the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, first I kind of have to ask this, what console are you on?
Yes, please. Put in the comments, guys. If you want to try out for the tour, you gotta be on either PS4/5, or
you could just
you could run too.
If you have a PlayStation account. Because due to Tyler's stupid, I'm not gonna restrict myself. Due to Tyler being a little stupid, he doesn't have Discord, so you can't really do Discord. Sorry.
Yes, only. I mean, I can do Discord, but the thing is that I would use my camera for the event. Which I do have one set up.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Tyler's team for the international tour, which you could say is quite literally the dream for him. Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger and Pablo Huffaker in Gravedigger the Legend. Now, you may be wondering why Adam's not driving Gravedigger the Legend. You'll find out shortly.
Soon enough.
And his reserve driver for that team, obviously, came second in the Double Down Showdown. Deep sigh for myself. Kirsten Anderson. And then for Drip's team in the international tour, we have El Toro Loco Black, piloted by Mark McDonald, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, piloted by Candice Jolly, and a debut with Overkill Evolution, driven by Mikey Vaughters II, with John Zimmer Jr. being the reserve driver for that team.
which that's going to be interesting to say the least, since Mikey Vaughters did not make a debut at all in Season 1.
And now on to Noah's team and the International Tour. Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. We brought him up earlier. Bryce Kenny, Mohawk Warrior. And Mike Vaughters, Black Stallion.
Now that team is pretty stacked, Hunter.
Yeah, so both Vaughters' father are driving internationally this season. But driver as his reserve, George Belhan. We've not seen him since Season 1, or Season 0 actually.
That's right, George Belhan. The punk with all the junk will be back behind the wheel this season if somebody gets injured.
If one of the two were to get injured, yep. And then for Rusty's, he has a pretty interesting roster as well, with Matt Cody in Blue Thunder, Rick Disharoon in Backdraft, and Lindsey Wink making his return in the Lucas Oil Crusader.
That team's pretty stacked, to be fair, but I don't know Tyler's team with Tyler Manninga and all those guys.
I feel like for sure Blue Thunder and Crusader are going to be some heavy hitters.
But who's the reserve driver?
So, someone we haven't seen in this league in quite a minute as well, Nathan Wink.
And we have not seen
who
Nathan since
I believe in this
0?
league used to, yes, I believe in Season 1, early Season 1 though. I believe in this league used to pilot Jurassic Attack, which was piloted by me.
Which that'll be interesting to see what Nathan Wink can do in a tough equipment.
So, that concludes your international tour, which, as I said, will be debuting tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. Or, sorry, not Central Time, Pacific Time. I don't know why I said Central.
7 p.m. Mountain.
7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or Mountain Daylight Time, and 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Anyway,
alright,
that's it for that.
So, on to what I honestly think might be the most heavy-hitting league of them all.
That's right, Series East. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of good tracks for this one.
So, week 1, we head to Nashville, Tennessee, which will be tomorrow night at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Week 2, we head to East Rutherford, New Jersey, which we'll be using Foxborough in the game for. I mean, Nashville. The only reason I didn't say it for Nashville is because that doesn't really need an explanation. Week 3 will be the first bye week for the Stadium Championship Series East. And then week 4, we head to Atlanta, Georgia, the Peach State, aka my home state. And for Atlanta, Georgia, we will be using Anaheim in-game. Week 5, as we said, going to be our Superstar Challenge, where I guess now would be a good opportunity to say more about that. It will be a 2-night event, similar to the way we did World Finals.
But
Night 1 will consist... This is not official, I'll say that right now. Night 1 will consist of Best Trick and 2-wheel skills. And then Night 2 will consist of racing and freestyle. And it will be 24 of the best trucks.
From both Season 0 and 1.
And then obviously Season 2 as well. Week 6 will be the 3rd bye week for the Stadium Championship Series East. And then we're off to Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field, which in game we will be using Modern Houston. And then in week 8, we're off to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Paul Brown Stadium.
No, the Bengals Stadium.
Oops.
I always forget what their stadium's called, so...
Well, it used to be called Paul Brown Stadium, but that's
But we will be heading to the home of these... Yeah, we will be heading to the home of the Cincinnati Bengals, where we will be heading back to Nashville in game for a second event. Don't worry, it doesn't come back for West, I promise. I lied, sorry, I lied, it does come back.
But not as frequent.
Yeah. Week 9, we see our final bye week. In Week 10, what I think is actually going to be our best event of the season, we head to the beaches of Miami. Miami Beach, or Miami, Florida, of which we'll be using Miami Beach in Game 4.
Which that, I have the name of the track. It'll be Dolphin Stadium. That track used to have a lot of sand. So, very intriguing to
Let me
see
just
what we
check
can do.
something here. Alright, yep, we're good. Okay. On to Stadium Championship Series East roster, where we see a couple of debuts, some truck debuts, and some driver debuts.
And of course, reserves.
Honestly, this might be the newest roster on the league. Why I said it's going to be probably the best, most prestigious, with the most hard hitters. So, for Hazard's team, we're going to start off with Pastrana 199, piloted by Courtney Jolly, and Kraken, piloted by Nick Pagliarulo, with Matt Pagliarulo being the reserve driver on that team.
Okay. I mean, I got both of them.
Took them from Tyler. And on to my team, which I think is going to... This could be controversial, but it might be one of the better teams from this league, or from this series. Neil Elliott and Max D. Jeff Bainter making a debut in American Metal. And the debut of the Extreme Kingsling with Weston Anderson behind the wheel.
Now, to let you know, before we go any further, clarification on American Metal making its debut. We don't have Captain USA in the game, so that's why we went with American Metal, because it was close enough.
Basically, I mean, it serves the same purpose. And the reserve driver for that team is Blake Granger.
Very excited to see what Blake can do. I mean, he's been tearing it up this last season.
Now, I will say as well, Noah has a pretty good roster as well, with two newly crowned IRL world champions. One of them, unfortunately, is not going to be driving, however. Randy Brown in Gravedigger, with Armando Castro and El Toro Loco, will be his main roster, with Zach Garner, your real-life racing champion, as the reserve. Sorry, we did the draft prior to the World Finals. If this was after the World Finals, he probably would have made the actual roster.
Okay, that's interesting, because Randy Brown was not originally selected. So I'm curious of why it was swapped.
So I ended up swapping it myself, because it was Dennis Anderson, and of course he wasn't supposed to come back. So I had to swap it last minute.
Right, sorry.
Well, it was Noah's roster. It's not like that was me.
Hey, I got a new follower. Thank you.
Love you, man. Alright, on to Rusty's roster, where I feel like he also has a pretty good one. With Monster Junkyard Dog, piloted by Dustin Brown for the first time since 2015?
16.
I think. Yeah, same difference. Scarlet Bandit making her debut in with Dawn Creedon at the wheel. I don't know why I messed that up so bad.
And she did make her debut at the Season 1 World Finals, but she'll be making her full-time debut this season.
And then another Gravedigger the Legend, piloted by Tony Farrell. Let me just make sure something really quick. Okay, yeah, I was right.
Wait. Why are we bringing back a ghost?
What?
Tony Farrell passed away.
Oh. I mean, that's who I was told to put in that. So, if you want to change that out really quick, we can.
Yeah, I'll swap it real quick. Since because of Tony Farrell's unfortunate passing, that normal second Gravedigger the Legend spot would not go to him. Instead, we will have a returning Dalton Widener.
Okay. I mean, he made his debut at the World Finals.
And he did really well in that event, so I think that's what made Dennis Anderson pick him up.
Yeah. Alright, well, with that figured out, the reserve driver for Rusty's team is Cynthia Gauthier, who is also returning in real life.
Next week, believe it or not.
Alright, and on to Tyler's roster, who he will drive World Finals 1 racing champion, Michael Jesus, why can't I say his name? Michael Pagliarulo.
Whoa. Don't
and
you
then,
mean season 0 champion?
Yeah, I said World Finals 1, but I meant season 0 too.
Sorry. Wanted to clarify.
Because technically that was World Finals 2. And now on to another debut, Brad Allen in Brutus, and Roy Pridgeon making his debut, or not his debut, his return in Ice Cream Man.
We haven't seen Ice Cream Man at all, but he was in Raising Cane when he debuted.
Yep.
And the reserve driver is
Corey Rommel, who I'm surprised he did not make an actual roster, because he had a really good breakout season last season.
Unfortunately, Team Scream just couldn't keep him. Tough break, though.
And now on to Drip, who I think has the undisputed best roster in this series. I'm sorry. Do you want me to say it?
I mean, you can.
Chris Bergeron in Avenger, Charlie Pocket in Monster Mud, and Damon Bradshaw in Monster Energy.
And for a little clarification, is it Avenger 2 or 3?
Avenger 3, I think.
So that means Jim Kohler will be in Avenger 2.
Actually, wait, let me fact check that really quick before I say anything. Sorry, Chris Bergeron's in Avenger 2, not Avenger 3.
Okay.
And the reserve driver for this team, the son of one of these drivers, I'm pretty sure you can figure it out, Chucky Pauken.
Okay.
And now on to our final series, the Stadium Championship Series West.
Wait a minute. Did you forget to say yourself, Hunter?
No, I said myself.
For East?
Max D American Medal, Extreme Kingston.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, brain fart.
Alright, and that concludes the Stadium Championship Series East. Trip, shut up for a minute. Stadium Championship Series West schedule, where unfortunately we will not see action this week from that series, as this week is their bye week. Of course, I said only 2 series running per week, but with 3 overall. And then they actually have a pretty good debut with Irwindale, California at the Irwindale Speedway.
Very good opener.
And then Denver, Colorado at the Lincoln Fairgrounds, with then week 4 and 5 being their byes, of course week 5 being the Superstar Challenge.
Oh, before we go any further, to clarify, guys, the Denver Fairgrounds is way too small to hold 16 trucks in an event, so...
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
So that's why we're using Lincoln instead of the venue that was selected.
Then week 6, we head to Seattle for the 2nd season in a row, where we will be using Nashville again. But honestly, I'm not really complaining about that, because Nashville is a really good track in the game.
It is.
And then week 7, I bet a lot of you thought it was going to be gone this season, but it's back. Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's right, guys. The normal World Showdown track. For the first time, we'll receive normal competition.
Week 8 being the final bye week for the Stadium Championship Series West, meaning the final 2 weeks is just full-out action with Venice Beach in California, and using the Miami Beach, and then Glendale, Arizona, which of course will be the Glendale Dragon game.
Which that track I've heard is also getting a new layout.
Yes. So that will be your Stadium Championship Series West roster. Schedule. And now on to the roster. Steve is going to start us off with Todd LeDuc in Middle Militia and Jim Kohler in Avenger 3.
Now that is interesting because that's stacked.
With Brian Deegan being the backup driver for that roster.
Cool. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Alright, and now on to Noah's roster for the Stadium Championship Series West. We have wait, that's not right. Wait a damn second.
Hey! Tails! Womp
Yay! Alright. We're gonna, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna okay, ignore what I said about Corey Rummel being a reserve driver earlier. He just got hired about 3 seconds ago.
That means Preston Perez will be the new substitute driver.
There you go. That works. Alright. Noah has Corey Rummel in Megalodon, Tristan England in JCB Digatron. Do not say it.
I'm not going to.
And then Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker. Or, well, just Shaker.
Well, we're going to use Saigon anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Saigon's coming to the game, hopefully before the end of the season. And I used a pretty interesting reserve driver here. Michaela Silashka.
That's not bad.
Of course, a Megalodon driver in real life. So I just thought it was pretty fitting. Plus, we needed women or we were going to get canceled.
Damn you.
No, I have Monster Mutt.
Yes,
we know. We are aware. I was getting to you.
I think you're next.
So on to Drip's.
No.
On to Drip's roster for the Stadium Championship Series West.
Woman as driving my Monster.
Okay. Just mute yourself.
We have
got it.
Lindsay Wink. Wait, what the fuck? Okay,
what?
this is okay.
Replacing Joe
Why
Miller.
didn't you fact check me on this?
We'll do Joe Miller then. Since Lindsay Wink is in Blue Thunder. No, Lucas Okerson.
Guys,
sorry.
I apologize. I'm a little stupid. So Joe Miller and Iron Outlaw, and Rod Schmidt and Monster Mod Rottweiler.
Not a bad
with
lineup to say the least.
Reserve driver there being Frank Krimmel.
A legendary
And now
driver.
Tyler has a pretty good roster as well, with Cole Vernard and the Black Pearl. I don't know why I always pronounce the R before the N. Just don't ask me why I do that. Brian Wright in Hooked making his debut, and Steven Sims making his return to Monster Energy, which he has been out of since Season 0.
And to clarify, they'll be using the retro paint scheme. The retro pickup,
What?
I believe, right?
For who, Stevenson?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, on to Hazard's West
Don't
roster.
forget about the reserve.
Oh, sorry, RJ Turner.
What? Wait,
What?
he's a war wizard.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody had War Wizard, right?
Am
I stupid? I
International
am really
reserve?
messing this up. Jesus Christ.
We'll put Randy Moore as the reserve, okay?
Hunter, you're a disappointment. I mean, at least we got this out of the way now, because this would have been really confusing later down the line.
Yeah, we wanted to catch it before the season started.
That's why I sent this in there, so y'all could catch me on my fucking mistakes, but y'all didn't, you failures.
Sorry. I didn't catch.
So, on to Hazard's West roster, as I was saying.
I am stacked.
Adam Anderson and Gravedigger 25th anniversary. Or, well, he's not going to use that all season, but you get the point.
Well, at least a Gravedigger.
Chuck Warner in Maximum Destruction, which has many different variants. Well, Tom Mentz is gone, we can't use him. And then Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter, with Colt Stevens being the reserve driver.
And I'm okay with that. That
and
leaves
now,
Hunter last.
This roster here, my roster for the West, Medusa, obviously driving Medusa, John Gordon in Bad Company, and Shane England in Big Kahuna. With Brianna Mahan going to make her debut, if one of these three were to get injured, as the reserve driver.
Which, to be fair, that is a good roster.
And that will conclude our roster and schedule reveal. Which, if Hazard knows how to do, he can post all of this in the community tab later.
Yes.
If not,
I will add that to the community.
I can send you everything on Discord, and then
Yeah, then
you just save it and post it.
Now,
so
another thing we need to do is that, as you know, we're losing the BKT license for us because, well, for whatever reason, they decided to pull out on us. Luckily, we did pick up a brand new name.
With a brand new
sponsor. It will be used for tonight. So, with that being said, Hunter, let's introduce our new name.
The new name for the series, and the new title sponsor for the series, the Wheelin' Outlaw Monster Truck Tour.
That's right. Wheelin', the sponsor that's on the RCR number 2 in the Xfinity series, and on some occasions on the Cup Series cars, will be making
and then as well the Wheelin' Modified Tour. Yep.
Plus, during Foxborough, Mike Harper will be in Outlaw performing a stunt for us.
Wait, why did you say during Foxborough?
I'm at East Rutherford, sorry.
So you wanted to do it tomorrow night instead of tonight?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bigger floor.
Yeah, it is a bigger floor. Plus the track around Foxborough is way better anyway. Alright, go ahead.
But also tonight, we will be doing another stunt with one of our reserve drivers, Colt Stevens.
Thunder OS.
It'll be the Thunder first attempt at the Thunder Roar's front flip. Which people have been dying to see a front flip from this series.
Hey, I did one. I did one in Avenger in Virginia Beach last season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was just about to say that.
But I meant like a different truck other than a Team Scream truck.
There you go.
And the most interesting thing this season is that World Finals will not be held where in Las Vegas, because as Hunter mentioned, it was going to be a main venue. That leaves the question, Where is World Finals gonna go?
I already touched on this earlier, and if you missed the announcement at the end of the World Finals just a couple weeks ago, we are going to be heading to the last great Coliseum in Bristol, Tennessee, the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Which will be for the first time using a brand new layout constructed by Hunter himself.
Yay! Is there anything else we need to touch base on? I mean, I could go back over all the rules and stuff just one last time.
Yes, go over the rules with everybody, but we're also going to make a couple changes with the rules as well.
I will note, like, these rules that I say right here are not necessarily official. They will be changed, because, I mean, this league is still technically in a testing phase. But I will say some major rule changes we had coming into the season. And if you were not here at the beginning of the stream where I touched on them, racing will now consist of full damage again, as it did back in Season 0. And if your truck were to wreck during racing or get too damaged, then you could potentially miss the rest of the event. And as well, driver injuries are a thing. So let's say if somebody wrecks hard enough and their truck has enough damage to where we, as a league, would determine that driver is injured, that is where the reserve driver comes in.
Clarification, look back in Season 0, Anaheim,
El Toro Loco. That's all we have to say.
Castro.
And this is actually the first time he's been back ever since that incident. So, that is basically it for racing. In two-wheel skills, the damage will be on body only. The only reason I say that is because when you do two-wheel skills in this game, your truck tends to break very easily, especially if it's a wheelie or a moonwalk or a stoppie. Your truck breaks very, very easily, so that is why we're changing that. And
freestyle's like normal.
So, as I said earlier, and I haven't actually brought this up with anyone, two-wheel skills will be judged out of 20 instead of 40.
Oh.
And I feel like the reason why we should do that is because, one, there's only 8 trucks, and two, I feel like two-wheel skills should not have the same scoring base as freestyle should. Because there's not that much to go off of.
Okay.
I mean, most of the time it's only going to be one hit. Oh, also, something to bring up really quickly. A combo in two-wheel skills can only be a move into another two-wheel skill. So, for example, do a stoppie into a moonwalk, a stoppie into a wheelie, a bicycle into a wheelie, or, you know, let's say you get real fucking crazy with it. You do a wheelie, then off of that wheelie, do a backflip and somehow land it back into that wheelie. There you go, that counts.
Moonwalk.
And I'm pretty sure that concludes two-wheel skills.
Oh, one other thing. If you land if we will have a timer for 3 seconds to get you another combo. If you don't get it, then you're out.
Okay, and now on to freestyle, which we'll go through. I won't say a major change this season, but it'll be something new. So we are going to be getting rid of the 30-second rule, and instead adopting the 1-minute rule, where I did say it was going to be a 1-point deduction earlier, but since we're judging out of 40, I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-point deduction instead of a 1-point deduction. So basically, if you don't know what the 1-minute rule is, a truck has to complete 1 minute of their freestyle, or else there will be a point deduction from that freestyle score.
Or in this case, 2 points because this is Season 2.
Sure, that's the reason. So I'm pretty sure that concludes all of our major changes.
Not quite.
In terms of the rulebook.
Freestyle at the World Finals, the 30-second rule will return. still with the 1 point deduction, but if you flip over again, it'll be 2 more points.
I feel like that was fair.
Now, there was a little bit of issues last season regarding bonus time. Because right as people got in it, they flip over. So I've created, in my head, a brand new formula for that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever at least they get barely into bonus time, like timer went up.
So, honestly, I feel like what you're going to say might be better than this, but I feel like in order to get a score from bonus time or from bonus judges, I feel like you should have at least 1 or 2 hits. I don't know which one exactly we're going to do, but I feel like it should be at least one of those. Yeah, at least 1 hit to get 1 point. And I feel like as well this season we're probably going to be a lot more lenient with our scoring because, I mean, I swear to God, there would be a run that would probably win a world championship in real life. We would score to fucking 31 and give it like 3 bonus points when the scoring is out of 45. So we've got to probably be a lot more lenient with the scores this season.
And the 0.5 thing is coming back too.
Oh, as well, something I forgot to touch base on with 2-wheel skills. Since I'm the fucking human calculator here, you can give a decimal score, actually. So you can give, but it will only be within the 100s. So, for example, I'll run that, let's say, Tyler gives a 9.7, and Hazard gives it a 10.3. That would average out to a 10 overall. And the only reason why I want to change it to using decimals is because it kind of gives a more precise scoring system, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty fair.
But it will only be point X decimals, so only decimals that go down to the 100th place, or the 10th place, sorry. So I believe that's it, and I've got to write all those rules down as well, so I'll do that later, not right now.
Well, they're in the stream, so...
Yeah, they're in the stream, so I can write them down, but I'll probably remember most of them off the top of my head anyway, because most of them are my rules.
And before I go any further, I would like to thank all of you for giving me 1,000 more views on the Secret Trucks guide. I mean, you brought me up to 11,000 views. Y'all are crazy.
That's so crazy.
I mean, thank you. All of you.
You're welcome.
Hunter. Anyway. As well, I'll be doing the tracks walkthrough guide soon as well. But of course,
we will probably have a day designated to where we can figure out the layout for each track, and we will probably post a video of the layout for every single event. I mean, not every single one. We'll probably do like 1 series a day. We already have some of them figured out. I know for sure we already have the 2 Glendales figured out.
Mention
Go ahead.
real quick. This is regarding All-Star Challenge. We will, for the first time ever, we will not only have a World Finals World Champion, we will have an All-Star Challenge World Champion. Which means 4 more championships are on the line.
Well, technically 5 if you count the overall.
Yes,
which, by the way, Cody Saucier, your overall
World Finals
overall world champion.
So that's why we've mentioned Cody Saucier winning a world championship.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I mean, he also won the freestyle championship anyway.
As far as everything else goes, as you know, with the main ones, racing, freestyle, all those since World Finals, those champions will still get a chance at the All-Star Challenge Championship. and add more stuff to their resume.
Yep.
Albeit it'll be a little different though, because as we mentioned with the new rules package, that will mean we will have some additional world champions heading into World Finals 3 for us.
Yep.
Which means best trick. For the first time, we'll have a world champion.
So I just saw something
Skills
that I think
champion.
is pretty interesting. Just really quick, I want to touch base on.
Yes, go ahead.
So, of course, Blue Steel, the makers of this game, made an official YouTube channel for the game. And one of the first things they posted is a Velociraptor rain freestyle at Irwindale.
So,
Of which you could see Irwindale at night and Irwindale, of course, in the rain.
so that we're not leakers, guys. Just to let you know, we are not leakers. We're just sharing information along with you guys to help.
Especially those of you who are not in the Discord server.
And if Blue Steel sees us, we're not leaking anything at all, dude. We're just telling the viewers what we've seen and stuff like that, okay?
Side note, Wildside's on fire. I don't know why. Wildside's just on fire.
Oh yeah, and guys, we are getting more variations of trucks, as you know. New spawners.
Yeah, so if you see some trucks make or debut new paint schemes throughout the season, that would be why.
Or new
especially
debuting
with
trucks, depending if we want to debut them or not.
Which we like it will, and I will say the most likely place where we will debut new trucks would be the Superstar Challenge, and that would be an easy way for some new trucks to make the World Finals.
And before I go any further, we will have, as you know, a World Finals, qualifier thing and stuff set up for Bristol. And it will be
That,
32
I will
trucks
say,
like
is
last season.
Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, it's basically what OG Monster Jam fans would call the Double Down Showdown or the Young Gun Shootout.
But recently
it will
made
be
its
12.
return,
Yeah.
known as the Last Chance Qualifier.
Which will be 12 trucks, which will consist of the 12 drivers who finished. I believe the way we're going to do it would be, I think the way I said I was going to do it was 8th through 10th, plus 3 wild cards. So drivers who finished 8th through 10th in their series, plus 3 extra wild cards, which could be new trucks that are going to try to make their debut, or just guys that we thought did incredible throughout the season, but didn't necessarily have the results to show it.
Exactly.
And as well, on top of that, wait, give me a second here. So on top of that, we are going to have the official way to make the World Finals locked right here. So, of course, we have the 2 defending champions. Could have been 3, but
we do have 3.
It is 3, but it's technically only 2.
Those
2 different drivers.
Those being
Colton Eichelberger and Cody Saucier have already locked themselves in.
Well, technically, Cody's a
World
2-time
Finals.
champion.
That's why I was saying 2.
But Cody's a 2-time champion. Anyway, as well as we will have the champions from the All-Star Challenge.
The All-Star Challenge. So the 4, well, at most 4 from the All-Star Challenge will be making it in. And then the top 6 in points from every single series will make it in.
And
top 7.
Then 8th through 10th will be the LCQ.
Yeah. So top 7 make it in, which right off the bat, that is 27, if I calculated that right, 27 at max that can lock themselves in. Plus, if that were to happen, 4 wild cards, and then of course the winner of the last chance qualifier. So that is how the World Finals and the last chance qualifier are going to work out this season.
And for the first time ever this season, we will actually hold qualifying for the World Finals.
For the World Finals, yes. But that, I will say, is probably not confirmed, just because I still would rather have a viable timing system to it. If we could figure one out, then we'll do it, but I just don't know. I'm not fully certain about that. So just know, everyone watching, that is a possibility. That is not something that's guaranteed to happen.
And it's not fully confirmed, but we would love to see qualifying make its debut in our league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Alright, is there anything else that we need to touch base on?
The boundary system. Because
Yes.
there was some issues with it last season regarding how far your truck went out.
Of which will actually bring me to another point once you're done.
So, Hunter, you remember when we were running Bristol, right? And people were using the apron of the track?
Yeah. No, that was Armandale.
Oh, sorry, Irwindale.
But yeah, I remember.
That will no longer be out of bounds because people are saying, well, what if you go way too wide and there's nothing you can do about it?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, now that's going to be considered part of the track, but the bigger oval part, that will be out of bounds.
So past the catch fence on the inside of the track.
Now,
basically.
for Bristol World Finals, the apron
will count as in bounds, but the actual pavement of the track will count as out.
Exactly.
Freestyle that I'm going to change. If your truck taps the wall in any way, like even if it's just like if it's like a slight love like the tiniest little kiss to the wall, you will be RI'd. Just because in real life that's how it works. If you touch the wall, there's a 9 out of 10 chance you will be RI'd.
And the breakage system will be a little bit different as well.
Yeah, and you also will be able to continue regardless if your truck is not damaged.
Really damaged.
Unless if it's too damaged. Also, I will say one thing: the damage system will change this season, like the way that we do REIs around that. The main thing that will change about that will be if your truck sustains damage, but you can still control it. That it will kind of be a questionable. If we can notice that you can't really control it that well, though, or it's not really, performing like a monster truck should, then we will REI you. But you can continue until we say, of course, REI. And then, if we rule that you were too damaged, you cannot continue.
Now, there was some confusion last season regarding my World Finals run in Scarlet Bandit, where I was able to control the truck, but you still shut me off anyway. But I told you I had still control.
Well, that was the thing I had. The reason why I had shut you off, and if I remember this right, you had 2 tie rods broken, and I had said prior to the World Finals, if you had broken 2 tie rods broken, it's an REI no matter what.
I did not break any tie rods, just to clarify to you. My suspension.
Well, then what was broken? I don't remember.
The suspension was doing the shifty thing.
Oh, yeah, your suspension was shifted. So, that also... The only thing that I'm really allowing in terms of damage is wheels falling off, tie rods...
At least one
breaking.
tie rod.
Yeah, 1 tie rod breaking. So that's all I really allow in terms of damage and like continuation.
And the wobbly wheel, of course.
Yeah, obviously the good old wobbly wheel we see in every single freestyle.
But
Of
people
course,
were in the comments at the
there
World
are,
Finals were really upset with the way the scoring worked for that.
yeah, and now that'll be clarified. So don't worry about that. This season as well, we will probably this I will say is probably not confirmed, but we will also we could and this will likely be a test at some point, probably at the Superstar Challenge. We could see the return of 2-minute 30-second freestyles.
Depending if the truck holds together.
It will probably be tested out. I will say probably it will be tested out at the Superstar Challenge. So expect 2-minute 30-second runs around there.
And
But
whenever that happens, the normal 30 seconds, like the normal 2-minute mark, that would be the end of bonus time.
Regulation.
No. The 90 seconds, normal 90 seconds, then then the normal 30 seconds would be bonus time. And then once those 30 seconds are up, then we will have another 30 seconds left, which would be 2:30, would be debuting the all-new super bonus time, which was the thing in 2008. If you're curious, Hunter.
Yeah, I am very curious. How does this work?
So the super bonus time will work this same way, and the scoring for Superstar Challenge is different because instead of 45, we'll be raising it to 55.
Okay.
So that means in bonus time, in regulation, it'll be up to 1 to 35 points.
Mm-hmm.
And both super bonus time and bonus time will have an increase from 5 points to 10 points.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
And I think that would make a much fairer competition.
Yeah. Alright, do we think there's anything else we need to touch upon before heading off and getting ready for the event?
I just have questions, but that was.
Well, you're not asking them on stream.
Yeah, and I'm not. That's exactly what I was
We'll deal with that off stream. Anyway, I think we need to clarify a couple of things regarding the tricks of how we, because apparently some people were wondering why some of the tricks that we did during previous seasons are not here, not present.
What do you mean?
Like, you remember that that wheelie into the backflip move that you did during Anaheim in Grinder?
Oh, yeah?
That move. That
Well,
one right there on stream. It is
Hold
on
on here,
stream.
I'll do it.
I did on stream
Oh, I
so
don't
they
even think
can
it's
see it.
showing. Yeah, I can do it.
I just did it in Avenger 3.
Like that.
Yep.
Except I failed.
But yeah, that's what we need to clarify on, because apparently people were saying, like, oh, this ain't good, and well, some people were, not all you guys, but most of you.
That is also part of like why I got rid of two-wheel skills in the first place, was because you couldn't really do much of it. Also, if it's not good, how the fuck did I want to do it? Suck my dick. Don't literally. I don't mean that.
Please don't. We will
But on
find
a
you and
serious
sue you.
note, On a serious note, though, like the reason why I the reason why I got rid of two-wheel skills in the beginning was because there wasn't really a whole lot that you could do, and that was something that I had like kind of created with Grinder to where I can, you know, at least throw some variety in there, especially for best trick is what it was at the time. But with that coming back, we're gonna hope we can see some more variety as we've all matured as drivers. And we're just gonna hope that two-wheel skills is going to give us a
Hopefully
lot
stay.
more sense of, yeah, give us a little bit more of a sense of competition, and especially with a point system this season. Oh, wait, I just realized we completely forgot to touch base on the,
Yes, let's.
like, freestyle thing.
We will
The
do
freestyle order thing.
that real quick. Right after we deal with that, with this.
Alright, so go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
So the only other thing that I will say, guys, is that the save system will also be a little different because, for whatever reason, we were saving it like automatically, and it was a lucky save. So this
Yeah.
season, we've decided to be a little more strict with the timer, because you only get basically one chance to save it in real life. So
Yeah, I would say only give like 2 seconds and start the timer, like start that count immediately.
like say 2, 1, and then time's up. And but if you do save it right before you flip it, save it right before Hunter says
Now I will say,
Hunter or I say RAI or Tyler,
there's gonna be something around the, like, so since we're getting a sidewall system in the next update, I'm not sure if that's confirmed either. I'm not gonna say it's confirmed. So we might be getting a sidewall system. It was sent in the server, so. But if you are doing a sidewall, that will not apply to you. It will only apply if your truck is on its roof, or at least on its side. But if you like save it into a sidewall, then I will say the rule still applies. It's just so once we say RAI, your truck will either set down or set back on its roof or set back on its wheels. If it sets back on its wheels, you can keep going as long as there's no damage. If it sets back on its roof, obviously you cannot continue.
and your run would end there, then we would score.
Yeah.
Now with that out of the way, we are introducing a point system.
Finally, I already touched base on that, as I said.
A little bit. But a little more clarification is needed, so you'll earn points based on where you finish in racing, freestyle, and only the top 8 will receive points for two-wheel skills.
Look at only the top 8 are racing in are participating in two-wheel skills. Only the top 8 in racing participate in two-wheel skills.
The way that works is that, like, say you get eliminated for the first few races. Like, the first 8 that are eliminated in round 1.
I can clarify it. So basically, if you are eliminated in round 1, you will not be participating in the two-wheel skills. But if you make it past round 1, there's a high chance you will. Now, if someone's truck was to get damaged where they cannot participate for the rest of the event, then it would go to 9th place, which would be the final race in round 1. So the final loser from round 1. And then so on and so forth if more than one truck somehow ends up getting too damaged to continue. Of which that rule will also apply with racing, since we're going back to using full damage in racing. If your truck gets damaged in racing and cannot return for the next round, you will be out of racing and the win will be granted to the person you faced.
Oh, another thing we need to teach based on racing, but we'll come back to that after we're done with the point system.
Yeah.
Now, points will be worked like this. First place will get the full 16 points for racing and freestyle. Then it go to 14 for second, 12 for third, 10 for fourth, 10 for fourth, 9 for fifth.
Did you forget that we made a point system?
Oh, sorry. Hunter, go ahead and cover it. Sorry. I butchered it.
I need to pull it up because I didn't know you were talking about this. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. So, for racing, the way that we're going to do it, of course the winner gets 40 points. Same thing with freestyle. We did not make a thing for two-wheel skills, so I will do that after. Don't worry, we'll have that by tonight. Promise. Yeah, honestly, we could just do that. Here, I'll actually do it really quick. You can touch base on whatever you wanted to after.
So, first, for freestyle and racing will be 40 points, and it'll go down as so, in order as so. Hunter?
Wait,
how
what?
would it go?
Hold on. Just go ahead and talk about what you're going to talk about for racing first.
I'll go ahead and talk about the racing thing real quick, but yeah, we will also touch bases on how points are going to be scored. But first, we're going to deal with the racing. So, last season, there was some confusion regarding how trucks would miss the ramp. Like, say, people think they would miss and stuff like that. Like, they go off like this on my screen here. That's not the case this time. It's if your front tires do not go over the ramp correctly. Then that's how you'll get the 5-second penalty. Is that... I hope I said that right.
So basically, to clarify what he had just said, if your front tires, so let's use Modern Houston for an example, to where you have the lines. If your front two tires are not within the lines of that ramp, when you hit it, then that would count as missing the jump, and that would be a disqualification. So it doesn't matter if you're, or not a disqualification, a 5-second penalty. And of course, if your two left or two right tires were to hit the jump, that wouldn't count. It has to be the two front. And then something else that we have to cover, because, I mean, the incident in the Double Down Showdown kind of forced us to cover this. The red light rule. We all know it. Some of us hate it. Sorry.
Not to mention certain somebody else. We will not say his name.
So, if you were to move at all while the lights are on, so while you are staged, if you were to move at all without the green light being on, that's counted as a red light. So if you were to move forward, backwards, it doesn't matter. Now, we had an incident at the Double Down Showdown where someone had gone before the green light, but he thought that he could stop and reverse before the green light, which that is not the case. As I said, and as I had clarified before the World Finals, or in that case the Double Down Showdown, if you are to move at all before the green light, then that is a disqualification.
Basically, what he's saying is that if you move on the red light, it's still a red light, no matter what. Going forwards or backwards.
Alright, to go back to the point system, I will talk about racing here in just a second. So, of course, your racing winner gets 40 points. Second place, or the driver who's eliminated in the finals, will get 25 points. The drivers eliminated in the semifinals get 20 points. The drivers eliminated in round 2 get 10 points, and the drivers eliminated in round 1 only get 5 points. And that will kind of work the same way in freestyle, but a little bit different, and I will touch on that in just a second.
But first,
With two-wheel skills, of course, this is only the top 8 in racing. First place will get, I'll go from first. First place will get 20 points. Second place will get 15 points. Third place will get 10. Fourth place will get 8. Fifth and sixth will get 5. And seventh and eighth will only get 2.
That works.
With freestyle, first place will get 40 points as well. Third place will get 30 points. Second place will get 30 points. Third place will get 25 points. Fourth, fifth, and sixth will get 20 points. Seventh, eighth, and ninth will get 15 points. And then 10th through, and then if you finish 10th, actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to make it 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th get 15 points. And if you finish outside of the top 10, you will only get 10 points. So, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. And if you need me to clarify that again, I will.
Anyways, so with that being said, that's that. Now we're going to regard order for the next week. Like, say, we're in the second week of this tour.
Or just the second event of the tour in general, in West terms.
Yes, so the way it would work is that the person who finished first in freestyle goes last.
And then vice versa, the person who finished last at freestyle will go first. So, if you guys are familiar with the 2015 FS1 Championship Series, that is how we're doing this.
Sort of. But in our own way.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. Hunter, is there anything
It should
else
be.
you want to touch on or no?
So something I kind of want to touch on and I want to clarify. Okay. So I know that the trucks in both series would constantly be switching, especially last season. That is going to be no more. We are only going to stick to the 16 trucks in every single series, and the 16 drivers in the 22 drivers in every series, including the reserves. The 22 drivers in every series, that is what we're going to stick to for the whole season. And the only thing that can change is the team that is on. For example, I could trade, let's say, Neil Elliott to Tyler and get, I don't even remember what he has, Brian Wright and Hooked. So that is the only kind of trade that can occur.
Yeah, keep it within the series.
Yeah, it's keeping it within the series as well. So the trucks that you see now will be seen within the series for the whole season.
The only way a swap will occur is if there was a truck added to the game within the next update that was not announced on the Discord server
or on the YouTube channel now.
And then yeah.
I should say as well, I will give one specific example of another way that a swap can kind of occur, but it's not really a swap. So, for Houston specifically, I will go ahead and spoil this. The Rod Ryan show will be a part of that roster, but I mean, clearly he is not a part of any roster in the series. So, Rod Ryan will be switching out with Brutus for that specific event, but the points will still be awarded to Brutus. So it's basically acting as another paint scheme to the truck.
Mm-hmm. Clarification as well. Kraken can get it too. Trucks that have used Rod Ryan show in the past can swap the scheme to Rod Ryan.
Yes.
Like say Blue Thunder, for example. I think Raising Cane was one of them.
I think so. I'm not fully sure on that though. Which Blue Thunder could also be Monster Energy because Todd the Duke used the same chassis between Blue Thunder internationally, then Monster Energy, then back to Blue Thunder. I don't know how we would want to count that, but I mean it technically does count because it's all the same chassis anyway.
Technically, Jester can also swap too, because it was
With who?
on Rod Ryan's show as well.
Yeah. Team tomfoolery, y'all.
Axe and Brutus can use it. And some of the international stops will also see Rod Ryan debut as well.
Yep.
For the first time internationally.
And whatever truck it replaces in the series for that week will get the points that Rod Ryan gets that week.
So like say Rod Ryan wins racing.
Somehow. No offense.
The truck that it replaced will get the points.
Yeah. So I believe that is everything.
I think
so. We have covered the schedules, rosters, and all of the rule changes heading into the season. As well as the World Finals and All-Star Challenge format.
Well, the World Finals and All-Star formats will be the same.
Well, yeah, the formats will be the same, but like the way that you qualify for them and stuff. Oh well, we technically didn't touch base on how you qualify for the All-Star Challenge.
Okay, so the way you qualify for the All-Star,
it will be similar to the way that you qualify for the World Finals. The All-Star Champions yet. Or well, technically we did them because it wasn't technically considered the All-Star Challenge; it was considered the Christmas Challenge.
But they will qualify, are locked in as well, based on their wins.
So that would, well, Tom Meents is one of them.
That would mean Chuck Warner gets the spot.
Yeah, Chuck Warner gets the spot, and Mark Hall and Raymond gets the spot.
Which I'm surprised no one picked Rammunition either.
Yeah, Rammunition was another good one that I'm surprised. I mean, he could definitely debut Rammunition there if he wants to. But, oh, by the way, something I should also say. So, since I won the World Freestyle and overall World Championship in Cody's OCA, I will be piloting him at the All-Star Challenge. I'm piloting his truck anyway, but I'll be piloting him at the All-Star Challenge and the World Finals no matter what. Same thing with Tyler, who won the World Racing Championship with Colton Eichelberger. And that will also work with the
Season 0 champion.
All-Star Champion. Yeah, the All-Star Champion winners as well.
And
or the All-Star Challenge winners
as well.
Yeah.
That being Jester and
Dennis Anderson.
But since Dennis is not competing, that spot would go to Randy Brown.
Oh yeah, Randy Brown. You know, I'm surprised we didn't use Pablo Huffaker anywhere. Or did we?
Well, Pablo might debut this during All-Star Challenge in Blacksmith. We'll see.
He could. Or, I mean, it wouldn't really be a debut.
Well, a return.
So, that's how that will work. And the way that you get into the All-Star Challenge is it will be the top 5 endpoints after week 4 for each series, which most of them will have only done 2 or 3 events by then.
And by the way, we're not doing an LCQ of that.
Yeah. So it will be the top 5 in points,
that means
the 2 world champions, the 2 all-star champions, which makes 19, and then we will get 5 wild cards, which could be new trucks we think have done really great throughout the season, just haven't had the results.
Or trucks that want to make their return.
Yeah. So, example, there would be Cynthia Gautier and Lucas Oil Stabilizer.
And that would replace Crusader for the week.
Now, I'm not going to confirm this, but the All-Star Challenge could have a theme, and it could be a team versus team again.
Like it was with Christmas Challenge with Santa versus the Elves.
No, it was retro modern.
Oh, retro and modern.
I
Sorry.
remember. Yeah, it was right. So that, and this is strictly an if situation. If we get enough trucks for it to be a fire and ice event, then we would do that. If we don't, we could do something like we could do retro modern again, or something different that I could come up with, that me, Tyler, and Hazard could come up with down the line.
So yeah, I think that's everything.
Should be everything. I hope. Also, I really gotta go to the bathroom, so please wrap this up.
Yes, please like and subscribe, guys, please. And yeah, this has been the final time for the BKT tour name being used as well.
Of course, now signing off with the Wheelin' Outlaw Monster Truck Tour.
With that being said, it is time to finally end the announcement. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Hazard County 03 and Hunter. We're signing you off. Keep on trucking, boys. Yeah!